So first definition we're going to look at is one-to-one correspondence. Okay, what do you know about this definition, one-to-one correspondence? What is it associated with? Which word is it associated with? Chart, I'm looking at the chart. Yes, relations, functions, sets. Given two sets, when do you say that there is a one-to-one correspondence between them? You can tell it in your own words. Or one-to-one correspondence in terms of functions, there are two significant words that lead up to one-to-one correspondence. Do you remember what those are? After studying the whole of group theory and now ring theory, you should be knowing this. Each element of the domain has a unique image. Yes, that is half of what a one-to-one correspondence consists of. There is still something that completes the definition as an image. Yeah, something to do with images, pre-images, domain, codomain. But in simple words, can you try to explain what one-to-one correspondence between two sets is? So you have a set which has elements A, B, C, and you have another set which has elements 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Can these two sets have a one-to-one correspondence between them? What do you think is one-to-one correspondence? We'll try to learn this definition in terms of the three words that we've already studied in our previous classes. That is a function, a one-one function, and an onto function. When do you say a mapping is a function? What is a mapping now? I want you to discuss what a mapping is, what a function is, what is a one-one function, and what is a non-two function. Same number of elements in both. Yes, that is one thing that two sets must have to say that they have one-one correspondence, one-to-one correspondence, element paired to another. Yes. Okay, we'll discuss mapping first. Mapping is, mapping one element to another like that. A is mapped to 1, B is mapped to 2, C is mapped to 4. Okay, that's a mapping. Is this mapping a function? Is this mapping a function here? The one that I've drawn? A being mapped to 1, B being mapped to 2, and C being mapped to 4. If I call this set as the domain, okay, this as the codomain, the mapping that I've drawn here, is it a function? See, every element is mapped to a distinct element, no? In the codomain. Suppose I'd done this, A being mapped to 1 as well as 3. Okay, A is mapped to 1 and 3. Is it a function now? The previous mapping was a function. This mapping is not a function because A is mapped to two different elements in the codomain. Okay, for a mapping to be a function, every element in the first set can be mapped to only one element in the second set. Okay, whereas this can be done, two elements in the first set can be mapped to one single element in the second set. That is allowed. But once I map B to 1 there, B cannot be mapped to 2. Okay, if B is mapped to two different elements in the second set, then it's not a function again. Can I go ahead and discuss what is 1, 1 and onto? Have you understood what a function is? So what is a 1, 1 function now? In terms of this drawing of this mapping, I'll try to tell you what 1, 1 is. So when every element in the first set is mapped to a unique element in the second set, okay, to a distinct element in the second set, two elements being mapped to a same element is not allowed in 1, 1 function. Okay, you say a function is 1, 1 when every element in the first set is mapped to a distinct element in the second set. Yes, distinct elements of the domain mapped to distinct elements in the codomain. This function is 1, 1. Okay, also for a function, I forgot this. In a function, no element in the domain should be left without being mapped to an element in the codomain. Okay, every element should be mapped to one element in the codomain. I cannot say at least one because it should be mapped to just one element. Two elements in the domain can be mapped to the same element in the codomain, but one element in the domain cannot be mapped to two different elements in the codomain. Also, every element in the domain should be mapped to one or the other element in the codomain. Okay, one distinct elements in the domain should be mapped to distinct elements in the codomain. This mapping is not one. Okay, it's not a function also. If I remove this, it's a function, but it's not one because two elements are mapped to the same element here. Onto, is this function that I've drawn here onto? It's a function, it's not one currently, but is it onto? A function can be onto without being one. It's not onto because the elements 3, 2, and 5 here do not have a pre-image. No element in the domain is being mapped to these three elements. That's why this mapping that I've drawn is not an onto function. Can this function be made onto somehow? With the ABC as the set having ABC as the domain and the set having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the codomain, can I have a onto function with these two sets without removing any element? Can I draw some other mapping so that that mapping becomes an onto function? How? Yes. Okay, even if I try to map this B, even if I try to map this B to 2, 3 and 5 will still remain unmapped. Yes. So if I map this B to 3, this mapping will no longer be a function. Okay, so it's uh, simply not possible for 3 and 5 to have pre-images with that mapping still being a function. Okay, so that is the problem here. So what do you infer from this? When you want an onto function, the codomain and domain must have either equal number of elements, or the codomain should have less number of elements than the domain, right? Only then can you have an onto function. Prove me wrong if I'm wrong. In math, we discuss, okay? I don't teach, we discuss. I could go wrong in the words I choose. So you have to disprove me. The onto function, is it? Okay, I'll try with a different example. I'll try to redraw. Let this be the domain now. Okay, let this set be the domain. And let this set be the codomain. Now, let us say 1 is mapped to A, 3 is mapped to B, and the 5 is mapped to C. You see all the three elements in the codomain now, A, B, and C, do have a pre-image, right? All the three elements, every element in the codomain has a pre-image. And you see that the codomain has less number of elements than the domain. It is simply not possible to establish an onto mapping when you have more elements in the codomain than in the domain. So I'll denote the domain set as D and the codomain set as C. This is the cardinality of the domain set. This is the cardinality of the codomain set. Okay. For an onto function, the number of elements in the domain and the codomain should either be equal, okay, or the number of elements in the domain should be greater than the number of elements in the codomain. When the number of elements in the codomain exceeds that of the domain, okay, there'll be some elements in the codomain which will not have a pre-image. So that's when you cannot have an onto function then. Okay, so 1, 1 onto, I hope it's clear. Now, this is an onto function. With these two sets, can I have a 1, 1 function as well? Can I have a 1, 1 function? With the sets that I've drawn here, can I have a 1, 1 function as well? Yeah, it's not a function. Why? The mapping that I've drawn here is not a function because 2 and 4 are not mapped at all to any element. Okay, let me map them. Okay, so now 2 and 4 have also been mapped to one element in the codomain. All elements in the domain have been mapped to some element in the codomain. Okay, is it still onto the function that I've drawn? Is it still onto? For the function to be onto, every element in the codomain should have a pre-image. All of them have, even if the elements A and B are having two pre-images, they still have pre-images. Okay, so this function is still onto. But now I'm asking you, Can you establish a one-one function here? Somehow, you can remove this mapping and try to form a new mapping, okay, which is onto as well as one-one. Is it possible to have a one-one mapping here as well? One-one means every element should be mapped to a distinct element. In this mapping, 1 and 2 are mapped to the same element, 4 and 3 are also mapped to the same element. So now it's possible to have onto function, but not 1, 1. So when both 1, 1 and onto functions you want to have, codomain and domain must have equal number of elements. So with this, when the cardinality of the domain is greater than or equal to the cardinality of the codomain, you can have an onto function. When it's less than or equal to, you can have a 1, 1 function. When it's equal to, you can have both 1, 1 and onto. So when a function is both 1, 1 and onto, you say that you can form a one-to-one correspondence there. But you need not actually have a function to say that two sets have one-to-one correspondence. The meaning of one-to-one correspondence is you can pair off elements in the first set with the elements in the second set. Let me draw two sets which have equal number of elements. Every element in the first set is being mapped to a distinct element in the second set. Okay, so it's 1, 1. Also, every element in the second set has a pre-image in the first set, that is in the domain. Hence, it is onto. The mapping that I've drawn is both 1, 1 and onto. And you see that both the sets have equal number of elements. Okay, so equal number of elements is one feature that you need to have to establish 1, 1 as well as onto a relation there. So you see here that the elements in the first set are being paired off with the elements in the second set. You can form pairs here. A is mapped to 1, B and 2, D and 3, C and 4, no, C and 5, is it E and 4. Okay, you can form pairs. The first element in the pair from the first set and the second element in the pair from the second set. Okay, and when you're forming these pairs, no element is left out in the first set or the second set, right? So that's when you say that two sets have one-one correspondence, one-to-one correspondence. When you can pair off elements in the first set with elements in the second set, with no element in either of the sets being left out. Okay, so now I want you to write the definition. Please write down this definition. Given two sets P and Q, we say that there is one-to-one correspondence between the elements in P and the elements in Q. If it is possible to pair off the elements in P and Q such that every element in P is paired off with a distinct element in Q. The sets that I've written, P having the elements A, B, C, and Q having the elements cat, dog, and a lion. Can I form a one-to-one correspondence with these? Can I pair off the elements here? You need not write these examples down. Can I form a pairing? I can pair A with cat. I can pair B with lion. And I can pair C with dog. I cannot pair C with lion, okay, because lion is paired with B. So you're forming pairs here. We say that there is one-to-one correspondence between the elements in P and the elements in Q. If it is possible to pair off the elements in P and Q such that every element in P is paired off with a distinct element in Q. When you're doing this, every element in Q should also be covered. Okay, so first of all, when you want to establish a one-to-one correspondence between two sets, you have to see whether both sets have equal number of elements. Okay, only then when you form pairs, no element will go unpaired in either of the sets. This is not the only pairing that I can do. I could pair A with dog instead of cat, this with cat, and I can leave B with the lion. Even with this pairing, there is a one-to-one correspondence between these two sets. All right? Is there any confusion? Give me an example where you cannot have a one-to-one correspondence between two sets. You can give your own examples if my examples are boring. Can I have a one-to-one correspondence between the elements of these two sets? Chart. Put it up in the chat. Where have all the boys gone? Can I have a one-to-one correspondence between the elements of these two sets? Are you sure it is yes? Is it yes? No, no. See, I know this line can be a little confusing because it's saying that every element in P is paired off with a distinct element in Q. The author has missed out on a word here. Every element in Q should also be, when you're pairing off, every element in P should be covered and every element in Q should also be covered. Okay, no element in Q should be left out. This every element is not restricted to P only, it should be applied on Q as well. There is one-to-one correspondence between the elements in P and the elements in Q. If it is possible to pair off the elements in P and Q. See, this completes it. Pair off the elements in P and Q. Pair of the elements in P and Q. Okay? Both P and Q are mentioned here. No element in Q should be left out. That every element in P is paired off with a distinct element in Q. Yes, yes, it is one and on two. One and on two. See, one-to-one correspondence means you can form a function which is both one and on two. I do not understand why you're having this confusion. Yes, the author mentions that. See, there is a difference between 1-1 and 1-to-1. 1-to-1, according to C.L. Liu, see, this is not about functions. It's not about functions. But in any case, 1-1, there is a difference between 1-1 and 1-to-1. Okay, do not confuse the 1-to-1 correspondence with the 1-1, with the definition of 1-1. No, there's a difference here. 1-1 is different and 1-to-1 is different. Okay, some authors consider 1-to-1 as 1-1 and some other authors consider 1-to-1 as 1-1 as well as onto. But the latter one is used more. Here, 1-to-1 means both 1-1 and onto. Yes, a bijection. I was discussing functions just so you recall this concept. Is there still a confusion? In the explanation part, the author has mentioned that the two sets are of same size, should be of same size, so that there is a one-to-one correspondence between the two sets. I hope there's no more confusion. Okay, so I think that's where you were confused. 1-1. No, this is not the definition of a 1-1 function. This is one-to-one correspondence between the elements of two sets. You can explain this definition even without the help of the concept of a function. All right. See, there is no mention of the word function or a mapping here in this definition. It's just elements and the word pair. Pairing of elements. When you do that, no element in P should go left out. No element in P should be left out, as well as no element in Q should be left out. Okay. So in that case, both sets should have equal number of elements, and only then you can pair an element of P with an element of Q. No, no, one-to-one correspondence need not be a function. You're forming pairs here. I'm only saying that it can also be explained in terms of function. When you're explaining in terms of function, one-to-one correspondence is both 1-1 and onto. When you want to explain it, when you want to speak about it without the help of the function, you can just say that you're forming pairs. In the pair, the first element from the set P and the second element in the set from the set Q. All elements in P are being paired to one or the other element in the set Q. Okay. So when in the process of pairing of elements, no element in P should be left out and no element in Q should be left out as well. Any other confusion there? So with these two sets, I cannot form a one-to-one correspondence. If you want to speak about functions, you can. I'm just saying, even without using the word function, you can explain one-to-one correspondence. It makes it a function, yes. I'm just saying, without the help of the word function, you can still explain what one-to-one correspondence is. Anything else? Oh, it's 44. Okay, allowed to stop here then. Do not take down this example, or if you've taken down, you just write, there cannot be a one-to-one correspondence between the set P and Q here with this example. If you've not written, it's fine. If you've written these two sets, you just mention there that a one-to-one correspondence cannot be formed with this given P and this given Q. All right? Okay, so according to the book, one-to-one means one-one and on-to, yes. The book has not mentioned functions at all. I brought up functions because that's how you've studied one-one and on-to so far. Why am I linking? Just to brainstorm. I link them because you start brainstorming on this topic. Okay, if this was confusing, we'll start off again in the next class. Is that okay? If you have more questions, you can ask them. If you've not understood, we'll discuss this again in the next class. And you can keep your definition questions ready for the next class. Okay, if you have no questions now, you can leave the meeting. Thank you for attending. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.